We are back here on the Lynne Hayes Freeland Show. Yeah. The man is here. Dr. Stephen Evans is my guest. So I want to kind of circle back a little bit because we were talking about, having our mammograms done, doing the self breast exams. But let's be realistic, Dr. Evans. We are still kind of going through this pandemic. There are a lot of people who, for the last 6 months, 7 months, haven't done anything because they didn't want to go into a hospital setting. They didn't want to go into a doctor's office. So as a result, a lot of that regular testing and screening that we should have been doing, we haven't been doing.
Indeed, and being aware of that, we really want to encourage your listening audience to know that we at UPMC Home and Cancer Center and UPMC McGee Women's Imaging are doing all we can to keep you safe now during this time of the pandemic. And we want you to come in and get your screening mammogram. You are our first priority, your safety and your wellness. So everything has been modified to accomplish that. You won't be able to bring anyone with you specifically, but we will definitely make it safe and try to accommodate our goal of early detection.
Now, because there has been this delay in people getting screened, are you worried? Are you concerned that we could see a spike in the number of breast cancers diagnosed?
Absolutely. It is unfortunately predicted that there can be upwards of a 20% increase in cancer diagnoses, not only of breast cancer, but all malignancies, colon cancer included, that where screening has been unavailable due to the pandemic. So now that we're really at a steady state here in Allegheny County, we really want to encourage all of your listeners to get this screening. You don't need a doctor's prescription to get your screening mammogram. We have mechanisms in place also if you're uninsured and you're underinsured to help bridge that divide also, because we know that poverty also portends for bad outcomes in all breast cancers. So we have our patient navigators and Lynn Robertson, who is able to help facilitate that application process if you're uninsured, as well as Betty Dowdy in our Early Prevention and Detection Screening Center.
So in other words, there's no excuse.
None.
There's no excuse. Because, we'll come up with some excuses. I couldn't get there.
So
I didn't have insurance.
Please.
Or even sometimes, and kind of going back to the gentleman you talked about too, though, sometimes we get into this place where, and I've heard this story from women over and over again, I felt the lump, but I didn't really want to know, so I didn't do anything. So I just waited and thought it would go away. We can't afford to do that either.
Just imagine, women are always the pinnacle of our family unit and the backbones of our family unit. Just imagine if you lost a loved one because they didn't have that experience of getting the diagnosis early. And now you're confronted with a late stage breast cancer where there are really minimal treatment options. So if you look at it in that way, you love your mom, your sister, your brother, your aunt, please encourage them to have the conversation, normalize the conversations about cancers in general, and please utilize the power of screening, because screening saves lives.
Well, and you know what, when you say that, though, it's interesting because I think that so often in our community in particular, and I think we've made some progress here, but there was a time that you didn't mention the C word. You didn't mention it. I mean, I think back to my grandmother who was diagnosed with breast cancer in 1925. She literally went out of town to get treated because it had to be kept quiet here. So we've made progress where we can talk about these things. We can say cancer, but we still need to learn. I don't want to say get comfortable, but we need to learn to feel more comfortable having those conversations.
Absolutely, absolutely. And remember, this body is our temple, and it's the only one that we get. So we have to guard it. We have to be mindful about how we treat it, modify those things that we can, and keeping a normal weight, and making sure we control our cells and the consumptions of alcohol, and do the best to live our best lives now.
So we have about 2 minutes left. Dr. Evans, if there are thoughts you want our listeners, our viewers to walk away with, what would they be? And this is for men and women.
Well, having experienced breast cancer, colon cancer in my family, with my mother being diagnosed and sister, I know firsthand the challenges of having a loved one being diagnosed with cancer and taking them through that journey. But what a privilege it is to see the strength of the power of the medicine as we have it, the art and the science of the surgery, and the partnering with our loving and caring physicians. We want you to take that journey with us here at UPMC Hillman Cancer Center, because we want you to live your best life now. And you can be a part of how your story ends.
You know what? And that's, I think sometimes you just got to take that deep breath and go full speed ahead and get those barriers out of the way, because many of them are self-inflicted barriers as well. Dr. Evans, thank you so much for spending this time with us today. I'm hoping that the phones are ringing off the hook by Monday morning as folks decide that they're really going to follow up and do that, because we need to do that. We just need to do it.
Absolutely, without a doubt. And
Well,
thank you for this opportunity.
Absolutely. You have a great day. And I'll be right back. I'm going to show you my Race for the Cure shirt, and I'm going to tell you about some voting information as well. So don't go away. Now that I am 2 years out, I feel like, yeah, this is my survivor shirt from the Race for the Cure. It was virtual this year, but I was glad to be able to participate. Bottom line is this: get your exam. Don't mess around. Don't play around. Don't put it off. I know through the pandemic you didn't feel like it was safe, but you heard the doctor, an uptick in breast cancer just because we didn't get our exams done. Take care of it. And remember, there are all kinds of services available out here if you need help paying for it. And if you need to get in touch with me, get in touch with me. Now, elections. Couldn't let this show go without talking about elections. There are going to be satellite offices all over. Today, I'm going to focus specifically on the Hill District, because coming up next weekend, October 17th and 18th, it's called Strutting to the Polls. There will be bus services going to all of the senior citizen high rises in the Hill District. They will take you to drop off your ballot. There will be help there. And if you want information on where the buses are going, 412-377-6925. 412-377-6923. I'm telling you, get out and vote. I'm actually getting excited about this election. You'll find out if you join me Monday through Friday, noon to 3 on KDKA Radio. Have a great weekend.